Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds. Today we're talking about fun in Commander.
It's the top 10 cards that are the most fun to play against.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds, bringing you daily Magic content every single day. So if you want to support the channel by buying cards that you're going to buy anyway, go to the TCG Player link in the description. It's an affiliate link, meaning when you buy cards for no extra money, we get a kickback on the order.
Yes, and if you want to help us support 50K, which is on the horizon, you can send something to our P.O. Box. We'll open it live in front of this camera. Get it in ASAP as possible.
Yeah, so we talked about some of the saltiest cards and like the pseudo-ban cards and cards players hate playing against, but now I'm talking about the cards we like to play against. They're fun. They make the game better despite them working actively against us like all cards are.
Yes, so these are cards, they're not group hug.
No.
That's one thing. These are cards that are good, decent, strong cards that add an extra layer to the game in some way to make it more fun for not only you, but your opponents.
Yeah, and number one, we're never going to stop talking about this for fun cards or mechanics. It's the Monarchy. Any card that says you become the Monarch is super fun to play against. I actively want this. Always, I want to fight you for it. I want to make deals. So we got like Queen Marchesa, Regal Behemoth, all the courts, Fall from Favor, Custody Lich, Feast of Succession. They're of varying power levels, but their fun is all like maximum.
Yeah, exactly. They're just all good. The Monarchy just adds more cards to the game. You can make deals. It's political. There's lots of cool stuff that involves the Monarchy when playing. And on top of that, there's so many cool, good cards. Like you said, Queen Marchesa is awesome. Regal Behemoth, awesome. Courts are all varying degrees of good, but the blue one's real bad. But the rest of them, they're pretty good.
I think the black one's the worst one. I don't know.
The blue one's pretty crap.
I don't know. Being able to mill yourself 10 is like so much better than giving them a choice. Even on the max mode, they have like a weird choice. But courts aside, not really. Monarchy's amazing.
Yeah, the Monarchy, again, it adds more resources to the game and it adds more play to the game. Yeah, it makes it play a little differently. Some players might not like that. I've never had a problem. I've always enjoyed it.
I think, honestly, it helps speed up the game, too. And make sure damage is flying and being traded. Even when there's a board stall, damage is still being dealt and the game's closer to being over than it would have been.
Yeah. The next one is Chaos Warp. This one's super interesting because there's a ton of removal spells, and most removal spells are pretty boring. And they just go, kill your thing, it's dead.
Yeah.
Or wipe the board, everything's gone. Chaos Warp gives this unique, fun little game to be played every single time it's cast. You cast it on their creature. All right, let's see what we can hit. And they're always hoping they hit the big thing. Now, the reason you play Chaos Warp is because it never hits the big thing.
Right.
But sometimes it does flips over the same card, or it flips over Omniscience, and you go, well, crap.
And even if they hit, like, some really good land, you as the Chaos Warp player feel totally great. You just turn something into a land. And they feel like, hey, you know what? This wasn't all a waste. I actually get a resource out. That's pretty cool. I just think this is such a simple, awesome design. Even if it does break the color pie, it's really cool.
It doesn't matter. I don't, this color pie thing like that people bring up a lot, I just don't know. I like the color pie and it matters to an extent, but who cares if one card breaks the color pie?
I mean, it's been broken dozens of times by dozens of cards.
Infinite times.
I mean, even just gradual changes they're making over time, like green has haste now. Beast, I don't care, whatever.
I think Beast Within is also a color pie break. It kills creatures.
Right, a green creature kill.
Yeah, green can't kill creatures. That's like supposed to be one of his things.
There was a beast the whole time. All right, Baleful Mastery is number 3. This is a mediocre removal spell at 4, but it does exile, so that's solid. But then you can pay for 2 mana and have any opponent draw a card. This is sweet because as soon as it gets cast, you're either going to have, whoa, I want to draw a card, or you can make it political and say, hey, I'm letting you draw a card. You owe me one. You owe me something similar.
Yeah, it's not its controller that draws a card. That's what makes this card a lot better. One, I know we talk down on 2 mana removal a lot. 2 mana, 1-for-1 removal, not the greatest in Commander. It needs to do something a little more, either be like a creature or something.
We hate Doomblade, we hate Terminate.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to have some sort of spice to it. And in the case here, the spice is you get the political value and it exiles.
Yeah.
That is what really takes this card to the next level. If this was a destroy, I would not be talking about this card. But it exiles, and the political value of going, all right, I will let you draw, but this. Or you can just say, okay, I'm getting rid of your creature. I need to answer it. It's going to run away with the game. But also, take this card as a show of my gratitude.
Token of my appreciation as a real quick thank you card, or I'm sorry, get well soon, here's a card. Number 4 is a card we got to play a lot in the Commander cube that we have. It's Wildfire Devils. When it ETBs or every upkeep, you choose a player at random, but then that player chooses a spell for you to cast for free from their graveyard. It has to be an instant or sorcery. So you can whiff, you can hit the nuts and hit yourself, or you can hit somebody else and try to talk them into giving you giving you their best thing.
Yeah, there's political value. There's discussion to be had. When it hits somebody, yeah, obviously, a lot of times they're going to go, okay, what's my worst spell for them to cast? And then give that to you. But sometimes it's like, okay, I see that you have Terminate in your graveyard.
Yeah.
You let me cast the Terminate, I kill this Vorinclex over here, boom, bam, well done. Or maybe I kill this Grave Titan. Everyone's sick of it. Get rid of it.
Right, and for me, there's nothing, that's just free value. That's free real estate. It just gets rid of a threat, and I spend a card out of my graveyard, but I didn't even cast it. It's pretty great for all parties. And even the fact that the worst case for the controller is I don't have to give them my best spell, that still makes this card better to play against because it doesn't mean I get buried or it's a must kill or anything.
Yeah, I actually recently added this card to my Tibble deck because the whole deck is playing my opponent's cards. This ended up being a really cool one. The fact that they put it on ETB took this card from like I would never touch it to like, yeah, all right, I'm in ETB.
It took it from every bulk rare devil card to this can do something.
Yeah, this actually is a playable Magic card. What's next?
Next is number 5. It's Victory Chimes. I just think this card is hilarious. Just because it untaps every single turn and you can always hand out a mana if you want. You don't even have to. I think even if it never gets handed out, it's so funny watching everybody ask for a mana. And once in a million times, it'll be like this game-changing thing. Or even just, hey, I need to cast a spell. Can I have a mana? And they go, sure. Yeah. I think this card's great. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great power-wise is what I mean.
Yeah.
Not that it's not a great card. It's definitely cool. I only said that because you literally used the word great 10 seconds before me. Otherwise, I would not be stuttering over my words right now. But Victory Chimes is not a very powerful card. But it is a very cool, versatile card. And if you're playing a ton of instants, it already has tons of upside there. But you add in the fact that, okay, I'll let you use this mana, but make sure, deal. It just adds more to the game, like all of these cards. Magic is a sweet, complex, fun game. What if we added more to it to just make it more layers, more fun? And that's what all these cards are doing. Victory Chimes is like, hey, I can add, a mana for me to make all this cool extra stuff. Or, you can have the mana and, don't attack me, though.
Yeah, I think all 5 of these cards so far, they add a little mini-game, or, in the case of Monarchy, change the entire game and add a sub-game to it. But it's like, who's going to get to draw this card? Who's going to get to cast the spell? Who's going to get the extra 1 mana every single turn? It's just going to always come up. And if somebody goes, all right, guys, I'm going to dig for a board wipe, like tap out, blah, 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 treasure cruise. Okay, I found it. Can I have a mana to cast it? And it's like, sweet, just saved our butts.
Yeah. Speaking of digging, the next one are all about digging. It's Gaia Reach Sanitarium and Mikakoru, Center of the Sea. Gaia Reach Sanitarium lets each player loot, and Mikakoru lets each player draw. So these are group huggy type effects, but they just add more cards to the game. And also, the reason these ones are better overall is they're controllable. Playing like a Howling Mine is not very good because everyone draws before you for starters.
You profit last.
You profit least because the longest it can stay out, it has to always come back to you. You're always the last one profiting. Yeah. So if it ever dies, you will be the one who loses profits.
Right.
That doesn't happen with these. You're in full control, and it's a land slot. You get to free roll these into a lot of decks and go, yes, this is my land, and when I need to, I'll activate it. And sometimes you go, hey, I'll activate this on your turn.
Because we're looking for something.
Or just like, if you don't attack me. It's all these political things. Like, I'll activate it early. I know you're gonna get the cut onto his turn, but I can give it to you right now. You have access to it. Just don't attack me, please.
I definitely like Gaia Reach way more than Mikakoru because it adds less resources to the game and won't extend the length of the game by Mikakoru is +4 resources right now. Gaia Reach is you stay the same unless somebody discards a graveyard card or whatever. It's probably going to be you though, so you're going to get slight advantage on Gaia Reach. I like that versus Mikakoru, you're disadvantaged.
Yeah, that's true. Both are very good though.
Yeah.
Next, I love this card. It's Benevolent Offering. I think this is just a solid commander card, period. You get 3 spirits, and you gain 2 life for each creature you control, and then you give 3 spirits to one of your opponents, and you give the 2 life for each creature they control to another opponent. You can, again, it's just deals on top. Is every one of these just political? Because I'm now noticing it's super political.
I mean, you have to hand out positive effects to 2 players for the spell to resolve.
Yeah, and I always... BZ loves to play sacrifice decks. I never give him the spirits. I'll give him the life sometimes. He never gets the spirits.
Never once.
He has sacrifice decks. I'm not giving you 3 bodies for your sacrifice deck.
But I love playing this card, and I will settle because I definitely sold Joe on this card.
Oh yeah, you played this card before I did for sure.
It's a sweet one. Number 8 is 2 cards. They are Scheming Symmetry / Wishclaw Talisman. Tutors are usually some of the blandest and potentially worst cards to play against, but when two players do it or it gets passed around, that suddenly changes a lot because now the tutors can sort of cancel each other out, but both players are getting some of their best things, and it just speeds up the game, helps the game go faster, but nobody's going to just slam dunk everybody else.
This is for 7s and below. As soon as you hit 8 and above with these cards, they're too good.
You risk killing yourself.
Yeah, tutors are the insane rate for these tutors becomes too good for other players, and with scheming symmetry, the other player gets to take advantage first. But usually, what happens in the lower power games where you're not super competitive, looking to combo off, is that you give somebody the thing, you make some sort of deal, you get your best card on top, they get their best card on top, and now the two other players, well, they're a little upset, but you can maybe work with this guy.
I mean, if player misses a land drop, it's like, oh man, I'm gonna help you smooth out your draw, like draw your best land next turn, draw Ancient Tomb and then make up for it. Stuff like that helps the game progress at a more natural rate, and then if you got your buddy back in the game, well, he's going to be pretty keen to help you out next time.
Yeah, Wishclaw Talisman has even more layers too because it's 3 activations.
Yes.
You give it to one guy and
it's
always
like Humble Defector now.
The thought is always that they're going to give it back, but they don't have to. They can just give it to whoever they want.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's now the choice is on them, and all of a sudden you gave me a card you played, and I get to use it. I get to decide where it goes and what to get with it. That's super crazy fun-wise for a card that I didn't play.
Yes. Next is Edric, Spymaster of Trust, and Ludovic, Necro Alchemist. Sometimes Edric can be a little egregious.
Much.
It is.
How about in the 99?
It's a lot of cards being drawn, and it can be a little crazy and annoying, and I get that. Ludovic, on the other hand, never gets out of hand. It never is crazy.
Yeah.
It's 1 a turn, which is much more reasonable, and also, just like before, it adds to the pace of the game. Players are always going to be trying to deal damage and keep the game moving forward because they want extra resources.
And it's not just group hug. They have to earn it. They have to do something and take an action to get the card. And it usually benefits you, at least in some sense. It's obviously their drawing card is not benefiting you, but the opponent's losing life is.
Yeah, it's the same. That's what Edric does well, too, is he doesn't let you get attacked. Everyone has to be attacking each other.
Right.
So sure, there's resources going around, but it's always in exchange for damage.
Right, so it's going to progress the game in some way, and I love that stuff. The Edric extra turns little creatures deck, not what we're talking about. Definitely
no, we're talking
more
about
in the 99 or with a Ludovic commander deck.
Absolutely, yeah. We're talking about it in the 99 Edric and a Ludovic can be the commander or not. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's irrelevant.
It doesn't matter where he comes from. He's just fun.
He's not a Necro Alchemist, but it's a cool card. It shouldn't be Ludovic.
And the last one, which is actually just a very good Magic card, is Fact or Fiction. I love the little game that this adds. You reveal the top 5. You pick which opponent you want.
Yes.
Whichever one you want. Probably whoever's your friend at the table, and they put them in piles. I've seen 5 zeros. I've seen 4 1s just to help the person out. Obviously I can't give you this card, but you can have these 4. It'll be much better.
It's so sweet. I love doing it, and you can play spiky and try to pick who's paying attention the least right now? Who doesn't know how this deck works? All right, you do it. But the other players are obviously going to chime in also. So it just becomes this quick little 30-second group discussion, and then someone's going to be like, you picked the wrong thing, and then someone's going to be like, no way, he just saved our butts. And then I'm going to be like, woohoo, I picked the best card either way because I separated the piles.
Yeah, I mean, you always pick, obviously you always get the best card in the piles.
You always get the best one card. So for you, even to play, it works out great. But as the opponent, I get some say in how this spell resolves.
Yeah, it's another little game to be played. It's where are the best piles? There are, from the perspective of the game, there are best piles to make. It's tough to ever know what those are, considering that Magic is incalculably
with all knowledge,
complex.
It's tough. But even with my limited knowledge, you're probably going to make the wrong pick because you don't know what's in their hand. Sometimes you don't even know what their deck does.
Yeah, exactly. But those are 10 fun cards. 10, I did 5. 10 fun cards to play against in Commander.
If you want to buy 10 fun cards in
Special
Commander,
shout outs to... Nope, I'm interrupting
to our
you.
patrons.
Nope, you can talk to our patrons. Special shout outs to all of our patrons. We're so smooth today. Pretty much
like
butter. Yeah, exactly. See that?
We're in sync.
You're scrolling on the screen right now. Thank you guys all for the support. I appreciate every single one of you.
And if you want to buy these fun cards and play them in your decks, I don't think any of them are above $5. Go to the TCG point link in the description, click the cards, put them in your cart, and then check out. Boom, you spent no extra money, but we get a kickback on the order. It's like you're creating money out of thin air and then handing some of it to us. which we really appreciate because it helps us do this full time. If you didn't know, we are full-time YouTubers at this point.
They will definitely be all under $10. I think Scheming Symmetry could potentially be over $5.
Oh, maybe. I was thinking Miko Koro. Maybe it's either Miko Koro was either $1 or $15.
Yeah, I don't know either. But either way, all these cards are pretty cheap, so you should head down to the link in the description, buy all of them.
Or head down to our Discord, Jerry's.
Yeah, Discord. You can come in there. You can chat with us. You can hang out with a bunch of like-minded individuals who both like the Nitpicky Nerds, like to play Magic, and a lot of people playing on Spell Table.
Yes, we used to play on Spell Table, but our webcam's like literally broke.
I lost interest.
For me, I wasn't the biggest fan of playing on Spell Table, but I think maybe we got to set up something in the future where we like play once a month or something with people because I like playing. I wouldn't do it every day, but just the fact that I bought a webcam for it, got everything set up, and then it still screwed me. I was telling some people, it took the wind out of my sails for it. It's like, oh man, why is this so complicated?
Yeah, it was mostly for the pandemic that we bought it, so.
Yeah, that's true. It did help us get through that.
Yeah, we're still in the pandemic, but things are a lot more open than they were.
Well, we are lucky enough to be in New York State, which is basically the best state to be in pandemic-wise.
Highest vaccination rate.
We're close to herd immunity.
Getting there.
Great. Tidbit. That was kind of a tidbit, but we need another one. It's my turn.
Definitely.
But I get to steal a potential future Joe tidbit. Joe sent me a link for a Chucky show, a Child's Play show, but it was on Sci-Fi, so it has to be terrible. What Sci-Fi show has ever been good in the history of the world?
There's Sci-Fi is like one of those cult following things where people.
I don't get it.
People either really love a Sci-Fi show or they just hate it.
Like I've tried some. And I've seen some on TV in passing, and I just always look at them and I go, they're all the same quality. They all have the same 10 bad actors in them, and they just run like D-list movies. And now I'm realizing I'm very sorry if anyone likes Sci-Fi. Not saying anything wrong with you, but I just can't get into them.
I remember one of my exes, and I actually don't know which one.
Okay.
Watched some show on Sci-Fi called like Warehouse, and it had a number.
51? 21? Alien stuff, right?
The warehouse had like a bunch of artifacts from history, and it was stuff like that. It was weird. I don't remember it, but I remember hating it. I did not like the show.
No.
And now
so Sci-Fi is getting Chucky. God help us.
I'm watching it.
We'll watch it. We'll see.
If
it's good, we stand corrected.
BC was like, why did they make the movie if they made the show? But I know that there was a lawsuit, and they ended up having to split it some way.
Yeah.
And obviously, the Chucky doll and the original Chucky is obviously this new show.
It's like two different universes.
Yeah, and then there's the one that the movie
Mark Hamill.
The Mark Hamill voice, which I believe is getting a sequel.
No, they said maybe. I think I was reading something.
I can never keep up with that stuff.
It's over.
Peace out, Trap Scout.